Hi, welcome back to channel TrainStation2. Alright, happy to share I get first in the third competition and managed to claim both the legendary trains itself. And of course, sharing your fun fact. Actually, there's a button that you can click in the game that has an animation. I'll come to that probably later part of this video. But for now, it's really to show you the opponents I'm facing right now in this competition, the third competition. I was quite terrified given the fact that although once we started, we were not at the top. We were actually quite far behind from the first spot. You can see it's 214 where that would basically just 136. So that actually make me ponder whether would I be able to claim the legendary train at the end of this competition. So I worked really hard on that, and of course lots of preparation work was actually carried out prior to this competition, and I've took advantage of course of that 3 hourly bonus to gain more gems and of course expedite the progress by getting more EP sometimes. So of course all this will be possible only if you progress fast enough to unlock that bonus jobs, and not forgetting the fact that in this video you'll be seeing me completing 100% of the event map as well. So here we have really a lot of items collected as part of parcel of having the reserves of raw materials for the factory manufacturing, but I think more importantly is how do you manage if you really have such a situation whereby you're stuck like me. I mean, the dispatchers can't be sent out, and we're in deep trouble right now. So how do you then get out of this sticky situation? I mean, at the end of the day, it's about thinking about how do you maneuver the inventory out one by one and not at the same time. At the same time, basically you will get stuck as well. So you got to think through how you want to best use your warehouse spaces, your factory spaces in order to do that. So of course the other option of course is the bin away items that is totally not usable because they are really small quantity, but by doing that actually you will release some warehouse space as well. Not forgetting the fact that in the union play, yep, you can use a trade as well. This is one way you can get rid of excess items. So this is one way, as I can see here. So it allows me to maneuver some of the inventory out and give some space here. And with that, then we really got to think through whether could we reposition the orders, those that require more raw materials be used rather than those that is less. So in that context, we will soak up more of the inventory from the warehouse and that make up space as well. So generally, this is about TrainStation2 in terms of logistics. So this here you can see is the last job. Eventually, it's like a fort with an American flag on it. So this is one of the last jobs, and later part of this video you'll see a completed fort with American flag on it. So warehouse space is really painful for me, and I think generally you got to think what to bin, then what are those that actually get a lot from the logistics center. I mean, that could be another way to think about it, because you can easily get it from the logistics center. Go ahead and bin those because it's just a click a button, you get it back again. So this is something you could think about, building the good number of trains and open up the channels in a logistics center to allow you to collect the raw materials required. Like I said, the other thing is to consider binning away items that is small quantities and no use. So this is a way that I usually do to clear out those problem of warehouse limitation. So here we have in total 8300 warehouse spaces, but most of the time I run full to the brim as well. Then again, the other thing you got to think about is about the dispatches that you have. Should you be able to dispatch for a job, basically 2 or 3 jobs, then you got to think which is the best job to deliver, because sometimes there will be a restriction in terms of the train types. Then you should, for example, if one job is on let's say your region and 11 and you require steam engine, and the other job is 11 but doesn't require any specific kind of engine, then you do the steam engine first, because that's where you can deploy the highest capacity steam engine for that job, and the balance then you can do it for the other job that doesn't have that restriction. So in that context, you will be basically putting your best resource to use. Okay, so besides that, I mean, the union play is important. I always emphasize this because union play gives you union dollars, or the union box. All right, so with that, you can actually use to your innovation center, and then increase the capacity of your trains that you wanted. For me, it's always legendary. So every delivery, every collection of coins, every collection of raw materials, all this will increase by 20 capacity. And I think that makes a huge, huge difference in terms of fighting competitions. And not forgetting, I mean, end of the day, not only about resource prioritization or best deployment of your dispatches, it's also about collection of gold, so that you can upgrade your basically building requests items, and then eventually use the gold to upgrade your factory, or not factory actually, it's a warehouse, but then use the gold to upgrade the capacity of the trains together with train parts and whatnot. So everything comes into play because train parts plus gold is for the trains, but yet you do not have sufficient gold because you have very small capacity trains. So it goes in circles in a way. If you do not work on one, you are impacted by the other. So here we are. Still struggling. Yes, this is the one I will show you in terms of the fun facts. The button will be something you can press on, and then eventually you have this animation to disclose the goal, and then you would basically drop down the cliff. Right, so this is showing an explosion of the gold mine, and basically a fun thing to do if you're really too bored while waiting the trains to be back in a minute's time. This is what you could try to do. The button will appear after the animation is over, and everything goes back to normal as if nothing happened until you click the button once more. Right, so this is a fun fact, and there isn't any other button you can find on the map itself, but of course exclamation mark, go ahead and claim those. The other thing that I'm really happy to share is not only the two legendaries, I got another duplicate region train South African class 15E. Really happy. I mean, it is sometimes just a consolation from those free containers. This is the moment I finished the 100% of the event map. So you get an American flag floating in the sky and above the fort itself. So and then of course with that completed, basically things maybe get tougher, and really glad eventually we made it. Here you can see here 1 2 3 5, and I was so glad because this is just about 145 kind of gap that we created, and we managed to claim it. So really happy with this. And of course with that additional 350, we will have 1050 event coins, and the happy moment been waiting for is to claim that event train, and I'm going to show you right now. All right, so of course the balance will go into gold, and now of course the next legendary with 4,000 keys. All right, we got two regions trained, and of course, with the additional steam capacity of 10 arranged from this event, we currently have 70, but I think after the whole event ends, we're going to drop back to 60. The highest capacity, of course, all this thanks to the Innovation Center, and of course, really happy to share with you this that we have gotten two legendaries itself. The fourth competition almost would be really tough. That's not something I'm eyeing for to work really hard on, since already achieved what I wanted. The two legendaries, the rest are just bonus. So really happy. Now we can actually relax a bit in the last three competitions. It was really a tough fight, and of course I'm really glad again the good number of jobs that was given to me. I got stuck somewhere, but eventually we managed to clear that. And of course, hard work. Besides, I think it's about proper planning. Always keep your factory busy, especially the event ones, and then do collect all the gold where possible. So you know, you can have the sufficient gold and gold parts and whatnot to upgrade your legendaries to the maximum of 80 capacity. And of course, that's all we wanted. Superpower trains. Alright, so thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe, and goodbye.